Have you ever had that feeling, the like really universal, irritating feeling where you look at your bank account right after payday and everything seems fine?
Oh, yeah. You feel solid.
Totally. And then over the next, say, 3 weeks, the money just, it sort of quietly empties itself out?
Not with a big bang?
No, not in some dramatic flurry. It's slow, subtle, almost polite. It's like a slow leak in a tire.
It's this feeling of financial exhaustion. And it hits smart, hardworking people because I think they believe they know their limits. They can list their big costs.
Right. They say, my rent is $1,400, my car payment is $350.
Exactly. And they truly believe that neatly defines their total monthly burn rate.
But what we found doing this deep dive is that tracked list is only the visible part of the spending iceberg.
Just the tip.
The real number, your actual cost of living, is so much larger. And that gap, that's what keeps us perpetually feeling like we're just running to stay in place.
So yeah, let's unpack this.
Okay. Our mission here is to really clarify the psychological and, I guess, the mathematical mechanics of this financial leakage. The goal is for you to finally see your true spending floor.
And to really understand the mechanism of, well, it feels like self-sabotage, but it's more complicated. We need to get past simple budgeting tips.
For sure.
And look at the behavioral errors we all make, and also how the modern world, the whole transactional environment, just reinforces those errors. It's a systemic thing, not just a personal failing.
Okay, to make this real for you, we need a case study. Let's talk about Daniel.
Daniel, good example.
So Daniel is 29. He works in marketing in a mid-sized city, and he's earning about $65,000 a year.
Which is a very relatable baseline. After taxes, his monthly take-home is around $3,800.
Right. And Daniel, by all accounts, he's tracking the big stuff. He's responsible. He lists out all the fixed, visible expenses, the costs he mentally files away as real or necessary.
The things he has to pay.
Let's run down his list. Rent is $1,400. Utilities and internet, that's another $200. Groceries. He budgets a solid $400. He's paying $350 for his car and the minimum $250 on his student loan. Add an $80 phone bill.
So when you add all those visible, tracked, fixed costs,
Daniel's total comes out to $2,680.
And right there, that is the moment of self-deception.
How so?
Because Daniel looks at that $2,680, he compares it to his $3,800 paycheck, and he thinks,
great, I have over $1,100 left over.
That's my savings, my fun money, I'm doing fine. He feels safe, he feels like there's a buffer.
But of course, that's not where the story ends. The big question is, where does that remaining $1,120 actually go?
It leaks. It just leaks out, almost completely invisibly, through these small, forgettable purchases that Daniel and so many of us, we just don't classify them as real expenses.
Okay, so give us the list of offenders. What is actually dissolving that buffer?
It's the classic death by 1,000 cuts. It starts with an occasional Uber ride because he's running late. That adds up to maybe $40-50 a month.
Okay.
He might have 2, maybe 3 streaming subscriptions he signed up for and totally forgot about. Another $30 gone.
Right. And the social stuff?
Oh, that's huge. He grabs lunch with coworkers 3 times a week because saying no feels, awkward or antisocial.
That's $15 a pop, easily.
So that's like $180 a month, just vanished on lunches he barely remembers.
And the research we looked at really highlights the pressure of modern life, the fear of missing out.
FOMO is so expensive.
An unplanned weekend trip he didn't want to miss. Or my favorite, the it's only $30 phenomenon with Amazon impulse buys.
Yes. The low price tag makes it feel harmless. And don't forget the social tax, the birthday dinner you chip in for, the wedding gift, that jacket that was on sale bet.
That wasn't in the budget at all.
Exactly. So when Daniel tries to guess where the money went, he can maybe account for, $300 of that buffer. The rest just dissolved.
So what does this mean for his actual cost of living? He sees his fixed costs as $2,680.
Right.
He thinks his total spending is maybe, $3,500. But the reality, the hard math, shows his true spending floor is $3,800. His entire paycheck.
The whole thing. And the fundamental problem here, as the source material really drives home, isn't a failure of arithmetic.
It's a psychological error.
It's a deep psychological error.
Yeah.
This is the absolute core of the issue. The brain categorizes expenses to protect your self-image as a, responsible adult.
Right. Behavioral economists call this mental accounting.
Exactly, mental accounting.
Can you break that down for us? What does that look like?
Okay, think of it like this. Your brain creates two different sort of fictional checking accounts. First, there's the utility account. This is where rent, the car payments, student loans, all the big, necessary, kind of painful payments go. They hurt to spend, but they validate your image as a responsible person.
And the other account.
That's the fun account. Or the discretionary account. This is the money you feel you deserve to spend.
Ah.
And this is where all the small, flexible, seemingly harmless expenses get mentally pushed. Coffee doesn't count. That $12 app subscription doesn't count. A spontaneous takeout order, that doesn't count either.
Why not? Why doesn't it count?
Because if you admit those are real expenses, they sort of contaminate your self-image of being financially responsible.
It's a self-justifying loophole. We label the painful but necessary stuff as real, and we label the pleasurable but unnecessary stuff as flexible.
Precisely. We give ourselves permission to leak funds because individually, each little transaction feels negligible. It's nothing. But that mental framework completely ignores the collective impact.
$20 here, $50 there, $10 here.
And collectively, they're devastating because they steal the entirety of Daniel's buffer.
Now, you mentioned the system is sort of designed to enable this. I feel like that's where some people push back. They think, are companies trying to trick me or am I just lazy?
That's a really important question. The research suggests it's less about active malice and more about optimization. The whole environment is optimized for frictionless spending.
Frictionless?
Yeah, think about the physical act of paying. A few decades ago, paying for something took effort. You had to pull out a wallet, count cash, wait for change, sign something.
Right, there was a process.
A process. And that friction, it actually triggered the pain center in your brain. It registered as a loss.
And now?
Now it's one-click checkout, save credit cards, automatic renewals, tap to pay.
Yeah.
You just tap a card or a phone, you completely bypass that cognitive pain of loss. It's fast, it's efficient, and crucially, it's forgettable.
I never thought about contactless payment that way. It's sold as convenience, but a side effect is financial amnesia.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
You're spending without letting your brain process the actual exchange of value. And then you add in things like buy now, pay later schemes, which disconnect the purchase from the payment even further. You get the immediate joy of the item, but the pain of payment is delayed, broken up, hidden in an app.
So the system is just designed to remove that psychological sting.
It makes you highly susceptible to overspending, even if you are fundamentally a responsible person.
That's a critical distinction. You're not careless, you're susceptible. Because the environment is optimized to keep you emotionally comfortable while you're financially leaking.
Exactly.
Okay, but if that didn't feel bad enough, we have to talk about the compounding horror of this leakage.
This is the real cost. This is the part that should wake people up. Let's stick with Daniel. He's unknowingly spending an extra $600 a month on these leaks.
Which is $7,200 a year, that he doesn't even realize is actively eroding his future.
So if we connect that annual loss to its investment potential, this is where the implication just lands like a physical blow.
Yeah.
That's $7,200.
Yeah.
If he were to invest that, and not anything crazy, just conservatively, in a basic market index fund over 30 years,
What are we looking at?
we're looking at an opportunity cost that grows to well over $400,000.
Wow.
That is the true financial penalty for the occasional Uber, the forgotten subscription, and the awkward coworker lunch.
Let's just pause on that. $400,000. That's a down payment on a house in most places. That's a huge chunk of a retirement nest egg. All of it exchanged for forgettable transactions.
It puts the psychological error in a much scarier light. Daniel never sees that big number. All he ever sees is just $20 here or just $40 there.
Right.
And that's why this occupies such a dangerous middle zone. The loss isn't dramatic enough, like, a bankruptcy or an eviction notice, to trigger an alarm and force a change.
The account just empties gently.
Gently. But it is certainly not small enough to be irrelevant. It is emotionally invisible, but financially devastating. It's the difference between feeling stressed about money and feeling trapped by it.
And I think the deeper issue, something one of the reports we looked at pointed out, is really one of identity. It's anchoring your lifestyle to your current income instead of your future.
Absolutely. We see this all the time with lifestyle creep. The second a person's salary increases, say Daniel gets a $10,000 raise, what happens?
His spending just quietly rises to match
A
it.
slightly better apartment, a newer phone, slightly nicer restaurants. From the outside, it looks like progress.
But financially, it's just a treadmill with better scenery. You're running harder, but the gap between what you earn and what you spend is still zero.
The financially intelligent mindset is just different. People who achieve stability don't always earn dramatically more. They just think differently about their real number.
So how does that thinking translate into action? What's the critical question they're asking that Daniel isn't?
They shift the question from the very low bar of, can I afford this monthly, to a much tougher question.
Which is?
What does this purchase cost me long term in terms of opportunity?
So instead of, can I afford this new $50 subscription, they're asking,
Am I willing to trade, say, $5,000 of future compounded wealth for this one subscription?
That's a powerful reframe.
It is. They see every recurring, small, frictionless expense as a trade-off against freedom. Not in a stressful, panicked way, but just calmly, rationally.
And they realize that financial stability isn't about hustle or some extreme painful frugality.
No, it's not. Stability lives in the gap.
The gap.
The quiet, reliable gap between your income and your total spending floor. And achieving that gap, it doesn't require obsessive tracking. It just requires a simple, crystal clear awareness of where the money is actually going.
So bringing this all home for you, the listener, the big takeaway here is the power of clarity. As soon as you see your true spending floor, the reality of that $3,800, not the comfortable $2,680 you chose to see, you stop being confused.
You stop feeling like your income is the problem you have to solve.
And you realize you don't need some dramatic, painful life overhaul. You just start seeing the reality of your situation more accurately.
And that clarity, it just quietly changes your behavior. Not overnight, not through some emotional rush of guilt, but gradually, naturally, because you finally see the real trade-off.
That right there is the difference between feeling perpetually stuck and finally feeling in control.
Our final provocative thought for you to mull over is this. Think about one recurring frictionless expense you have. Maybe it's a premium delivery service or that daily coffee run, something you have mentally categorized as harmless.
Now calculate its annual cost and multiply that number by 10. That is the minimum amount of future financial freedom you're exchanging for that single small habit. What specific amount of your future are you truly willing to trade away for that convenience? That's the real calculus.